The room froze in a single breathless moment as the numbers on the giant screen blinked red, then yellow, then red again. A $75 million deal, months in the making, stood on the edge of collapse, and no one noticed the quiet man at the far end of the table tighten his grip on a pen as if his entire life depended on it. In that split second, the world saw a mistake that could ruin careers, sink a company, and destroy futures, but what they didn't see was the single father who had already survived worse, and who was about to change everything in just seconds. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to this channel for more stories that touch the heart and remind us what truly matters. He had arrived early that morning, as always, slipping into the glass tower while the city was still waking up. His suit was clean but worn, his shoes polished but old, and his eyes carried the tired calm of a man who slept in short stretches. Being a single dad had taught him how to function on less sleep, less money, less patience for nonsense, but more responsibility than most people ever knew. Every morning began with packing lunches, tying shoelaces, and promising his child that everything would be okay, even when he wasn't sure it would be. By the time he reached the office, he had already lived a full day. The boardroom buzzed with controlled confidence as executives gathered around the table, their laptops open, their expressions sharp. This deal was supposed to be flawless. A merger that would reshape the industry, inject millions into the company, and crown the CEO as a visionary leader. But beneath the polished slides and rehearsed optimism, something had gone wrong. A small error, buried deep in the projections, had slipped past teams of analysts and advisors. It was the kind of mistake that looked harmless at first glance, but catastrophic once exposed. As the presentation moved forward, the single dad sat quietly, taking notes, listening not just to the words but to the spaces between them. Years earlier, before life had knocked him down with loss and responsibility, he had been known as sharp, fast, and fearless. After becoming a father overnight, his ambition had softened into something deeper, purpose. He no longer chased recognition, he chased stability. He no longer spoke loudly, he listened carefully. That habit saved him now. His eyes narrowed as a familiar pattern appeared on the screen. The numbers didn't align. They couldn't. He felt it in his chest before his mind fully caught up. A misapplied conversion rate. A decimal shifted one place too far. A risk assessment calculated under the wrong assumption. If the deal went through as it was, the company wouldn't gain $75 million, it would lose it. The room, full of confidence, was blind to the cliff ahead. His heart pounded. This was not his meeting to interrupt. He wasn't the lead. He wasn't even supposed to speak. And yet, images of his child flashed through his mind, homework at the kitchen table, bedtime stories read under dim light, the quiet trust placed in him every single day. He had learned that silence, when truth is at stake, can be a form of betrayal. So he leaned forward. What happened next unfolded faster than anyone expected. In a few calm sentences, he pointed out the flaw, traced the error back to its source, and recalculated the outcome with clarity born from years of solving problems under pressure. The room shifted. Screens were adjusted. Assistants scrambled. Analysts rechecked their work, and one by one, faces drained of color as the truth became undeniable. The deal had been seconds away from disaster, and only now did everyone see it. The air grew heavy with realization. This wasn't a small oversight. This was the kind of mistake that could have ended the company. The single dad sat back, his hands steady even as his chest burned with adrenaline. He didn't smile. He didn't look around for approval. He simply returned to his notes, as if saving $75 million was just another task between school pickup and dinner. Then something unexpected happened. The CEO, a figure known for authority and distance, slowly stood up. The movement was quiet but commanding, drawing every eye in the room. This was a person used to being right, used to being praised, used to standing above everyone else. Yet now, standing tall, the CEO looked at the man who had spoken up when no one else did, and the room felt different. Respect replaced hierarchy. Gratitude replaced ego. In that moment, titles dissolved, and humanity took their place. The meeting ended differently than planned. The deal was paused, corrected, and ultimately saved. But the real transformation happened after. The single dad returned to his desk, expecting nothing more than a nod, maybe a quiet thank you. Instead, opportunities began to open. His ideas were sought. His voice was invited. Not because he demanded attention, but because he earned trust. That evening, he went home to the same small apartment, cooked the same simple dinner, and listened to his child talk about their day with excitement that made everything else fade. No headlines would ever mention his name. No article would capture the weight of that moment. But as he tucked his child into bed, he knew something had changed, not just at work, but within himself. He had proven that integrity still mattered, that quiet courage could stop disasters, and that being overlooked didn't mean being insignificant. If this story is touching your heart right now, if it's reminding you of someone who works quietly, sacrifices deeply, and rarely gets credit, please take a moment to like this video and share it with others. Your engagement helps these stories reach the people who need them most. Because stories like this aren't really about money or boardrooms. They're about people who carry invisible burdens, who show up even when no one is watching, and who choose to do the right thing even when it's risky. They're about single parents, unsung heroes, and the power of speaking up at the right moment. Before this video ends, we have one special request for you. Please comment below with a single word that describes how this story made you feel. Your words matter, and they help build a community rooted in empathy and hope. And as the screen fades to black, remember this: sometimes the person who saves everything is the one sitting quietly in the corner, holding their world together one small, brave decision at a time.